everyone, Marla here with Mad About Cards and Crafts and another CottageCutz YouTube video tutorial. All of the products that I'm using today are available in the Scrap and Cottage, and I will have them linked in the description box below. I'm going to jump right into these products. I have die cut the Spring Showers mouse, which is an adorable mouse with a umbrella and also a rain slicker, perfect for spring themes. And then we have the Easter themed and spring themed spring sentiments. There are 6 sentiments in this die set, and then there's some supporting dies. So we have Easter baskets, peeps, carrots, and then a couple of bunnies. The tail of each of the sentiments do have bunny ears, but you'll see in my card today I end up removing them because I think that they are absolutely adorable, but I did not want them on my sentiment today. I started by coloring the hat off camera. I'll go back in and finish the inside of the hat using my darkest color. I'm going to use the same markers on my rain slicker, so I went all the way around the edges with a B6, blended it out with a B4, and where that white space was, I added my highlight with a B2. For the mouse, I'm going to start with a C4 marker. I'm not going to color the muzzle. I'll go all the way around the top half of the mouse with that C4. I'll blend it out with a C2, and then I will finish it off with my C0. I color the entire mouse because I did forget that CottageCutz has a lot of detail, which I love. That's one of the things that I really love about these dies. And I do have dies for the inside of the ears, which is going to add just a little bit of dimension, and then I have an additional piece for the muzzle and the nose. I'm using an RV000 marker to color those ears, but again, I'm going to color the circles that are right above it using those same markers, and then we'll glue those to the head to add that dimension. For the muzzle, I used a C2 and a C0 marker. I'm adding some cheeks using that same RV000 for the nose and also for the cheeks. I am going to put the rain slicker on, and I'm going to realize that the tummy peeks out just a little bit, so I'll color up the tummy. I just used a C2 marker, I believe, and I colored the hands, the neck, and the tummy. I'll reattach this raincoat, and then we'll attach his head. To change the appearance of the mice, since I am using the same die cut for 2 different mice, of course I colored the girl in a very vibrant pink using some RV markers, so her rain slicker is going to be pink. But I added the hat on the boy. There are eyebrows, and I added the hat much lower on the boy bunny, so he kind of has that cool little look going on, and covered up one of the eyebrows. And then for the girl bunny, I added her hat just a little bit higher, and I think that that kind of changed the character of each of these images. I wanted to mention that there's really not quite enough room at the bottom where the rain slicker meets the tummy, so I went ahead and added the feet to the top of that rain slicker. I'm going to attach the tail, and I'm going to add some detail with my gel pen. Once I add that detail, I'm going to add kind of little dots and lines. It's something that I like to do. I think the highlights just add a little bit more character to the images. As I mentioned, there is an embossed area for the eyes and an eyebrow and the eyebrows, because there are 2 eyebrows. I used my micron pen to color those in, and then here I'm going to add the whites with my gel pen. I'm going to add those freckles. When I do the second mouse, I color it off screen. I accidentally added the cheeks to the top half of the face, so when I added the muzzle, it kind of looked a little bit funny. So what I did to correct that is I made it look like she was wearing blush. So this little mouse was defining her cheekbones with the blush on her face, so that is going to give a little bit of a different look as well. You can look at the front of the packaging and it will give you a really nice idea of how these images should go together, but I did want to mention that as I shared the mouse, adding the hat just a little bit lower, not in the exact place that's on the picture in the front of the packaging. You can change the direction of the tails. In this video, I have one mouse with the umbrella in the right hand, one mouse with the umbrella on the left hand. So you can change some of these things up to change the character of the images. I'm going to use my white gel pen to add a little bit more detail to those pockets and buttons. I did color the umbrella in teal tones. There are 3 pieces to the umbrella. The handle I colored in gray tones. I thought about being matchy-matchy with my mouse, and then I decided that my umbrella never really matches my clothing and decided to use some teal markers. So I used some of the lighter teal markers on the umbrella, and of course I'm going to add that detail with the gel pen. Later on I'm going to come in with my die cut sentiment and those same colors that I used on the umbrella, which are probably like a BG2, BG3 and a BG or a BG4 and a BG6, something like that. I'm going to add that to the sentiment as well. Here I have a stencil from my stash, and I'm going to add some grass to the bottom of my scene. You may be wondering where that center panel came from. I used 2 slimline dies in my stash, and I cut out a frame, and this is the centerpiece from that frame. So with the frame and this inside piece, that's going to measure 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches. I will bring in a raspberry toned top folding slimline card base that's going to be 8 1/2 by 3 1/2, which will be my finished card. I'm adding some clouds with another stencil from my stash. This is Fiesta Blue ink from Catherine Pooler. I was really light-handed with this, so when I took my pictures, it was really hard to photograph using lighting, and I tried different lighting ideas and I just really couldn't pick it up. So I will show you a close-up of this background because I really think this background turned out great. I'm using some Nuvo Moonstone paste on the left and the right side of this panel. I did let the left side dry before I added that second application over on the right hand side, and I really love that iridescent look from the Moonstone paste with the rain. I think that it just really adds to the mood of the card. I like to use 3 layers when I'm creating with delicate dyes, and so I colored up the top layer as I mentioned, and then I offset the second layer. I'll line this third piece up with the back layer, so with the shadow layer, and then I'm going to cut off the bunny ear tails. I thought the bunny ears are just absolutely adorable, and I will use them on my next card, but for this card I just didn't think that the ears really matched with the theme of this card. Here is that top folding card base. I added my frame. I'm going to inlay our stenciled die cut, and we're going to start adhering the mice and the sentiment. I should mention that because we did use that iridescent paste, it does not like to cling to glue, so the glue doesn't adhere as well. My solution for that is to add that wet glue to the back. I just think wet glue works a little bit better. And then I use my reverse tweezers to hold it down, as well as my fingers, so that it can just stay there a little bit longer. You can see that I did change the direction of the umbrellas, so I do have an umbrella on the left side for the boy and on the right side for the girl to really help add that balance to the scene. I'm going to add my sentiment, and then I'm going to show you a close-up of this card. As I mentioned, I really wanted you to see just how pretty that background was. I love the way this card turned out. I can't wait to send it to one of my friends, and that's it for me today. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified whenever I do upload upload another video. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to give this a big thumbs up, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.